I want to make sure that I'm able to introduce the three individuals who are perhaps the most important members of this particular press conference, and I'll do that in just a moment. But I simply want to say thank you to everyone who believed this was important enough to jump onto this press conference today. Today is a great day, and for many different reasons, but one in particular because I believe in many ways we proved that justice can prevail. Let me introduce the people who will make it clear that justice was at stake here and how important it is that justice prevail. After I speak, I'm going to turn over the speaking duties to Dulce Garcia, who was one of the DACA plaintiffs and is today an attorney in the United States of America. After she speaks, we have Jirayut, who goes by New, Lativongkorn, who will then speak next. New is a DACA plaintiff as well and a medical student here in the United States. And to close us off, our cleanup batter is Andai McAndrew. She is a DACA recipient and a recent Cal Poly political science graduate. Three very accomplished people who will speak. I'm going to just give you a few words and then I'm going to turn it over to them. First thing, it's all about the three people I introduced. This is all about the Dreamers. It's always been about the Dreamers, and it's always been led by the Dreamers. This fight would not have been possible but for the Dreamers' courage to come out and step forward at their own peril. This would not have been possible had they not made the program work. This program would not have been possible, this lawsuit and this victory would not have been possible if they didn't prove after they applied for the DACA program that it really could work. And this would not have been possible if they didn't go through and live out the values that America cherishes in showing that they would work hard and play by the rules. And so today's victory is really their victory, and we're very fortunate that we get to share it with them today. It's all about the Dreamers, but it's all about the rule of law as well. We said that from the very beginning. That's what underpinned this case. And that's why at the end, the Supreme Court gave Dreamers this victory. I believe the Supreme Court decision today is a true indictment of the way President Donald Trump does his business. We have tried to say that over and over to America in our 84 lawsuits against this administration, that the way Donald Trump does business is not America's way, that the way Donald Trump does business is not according to the rule of law, and the way that Donald Trump does business does not reflect American values. And certainly it doesn't reflect the values of the Dreamers who fought so hard to prove that they deserve to have DACA continue forward. And so now, to the Dreamers, to anyone who might hear this, who's a Dreamer or a prospective applicant to DACA, take a breath. Pause for a moment. Savor your victory. Understand what the Supreme Court just said to you. This was a message for America, but it was a message about you and to you. And I hope you'll take a moment, because it's not often in history when America can speak so directly to you. And so enjoy, take it in. But do me a favor, stay tuned. And I say stay tuned because the Supreme Court's decision was important in another very critical respect. It said that anyone who qualifies as a Dreamer under DACA to apply should be allowed to be in the program. And of the 700,000 or so current DACA recipients, they know family members, brothers and sisters, friends, loved ones who did not get to apply, who are locked out, because while this case was proceeding through the courts, it only protected the court ruling that we in California secured in the injunction to keep the program in place, only secured the program for those who were currently in it. And we know many people are now eligible under the criteria for DACA to qualify. So to all of the Dreamers of America and those of you who will apply, did apply, have DACA status, stay tuned, because what we want is to make sure that you continue to do things the right way. Please do not go out and spend $1,000, $5,000 with someone who says, I can get you your DACA status tomorrow, in 2 months. As a result of the court decision, all you need to do is give me $1,000, $3,000, and I'll get you on. No, please. Heed those who have always respected you. Heed those you trust. We will give you messages about how to do this, because the court gave us a great ruling that is not only good for those who are current DACA recipients, but those who qualify to be DACA recipients. Stay tuned. Finally, no home is secure until it is permanent. And my friends, this is a great victory, but it's not necessarily permanent. And every dreamer in America deserves to dream in his or her own bed, in his or her own home, and make it permanent. To the members of Congress, to those who've been in this fight, but more particularly to those who've been recalcitrant, to those who've been holding up legislation to make permanent the DREAM Act, please, time to act is now. Please, you heard the Supreme Court speak to the dreamers. Time to act. Give the dreamers a permanent home the way they deserve here in America. Most every American bipartisanly agrees that this is the dreamers' home. Let's make that a reality. Let's make that permanent. Congress, the time to act. And Mr. President, the time to sign a DREAM Act is now. With that, let me now ask Dulce Garcia to say some words.
Thank you, Attorney General. My name is Dulce Garcia. I am an immigration and criminal defense attorney here in San Diego, California, in what we consider our borderlands. Today, this victory is for and was by the undocumented people that for many years were fearless organizing in the streets. We took this case all the way to the Supreme Court and we received this victory. But more than that, this is a victory for all Americans. Today, all of America won through this victory. This victory was led by undocumented people, but we were accompanied by so many folks behind us, like the state of California, like the people of California, like the UC system. We ask that the rest of the U.S. takes this victory and takes a lead from states like California, not just in relation to DREAMer legislation, but also in the protection of our entire immigrant communities. This is something that can be replicated all across the U.S., then we ask that the rest of the U.S. takes California's leads on that. We also ask that the Congress provide a path to citizenship for all of us so that this doesn't happen again, so that dreamers have protection from deportation permanently. We see ourselves as Americans, and we keep asking Congress for a path to citizenship to one day call ourselves American citizens. The victory today proved that no one's above the law, including this president. Trump is not above the law, and he has made it clear time and time again that he wants to deport us. His decision to take away DACA from us was based on hate, it was discriminatory, and it was political. We urge now, from after this victory, that this administration opens up immediately the ability to apply for DACA. In particular, we have over 100,000 undocumented high school students that graduated last year without any ability to defend themselves from deportation. And we must open up the application process for those folks that would otherwise qualify for DACA. And we must also restore advanced parole immediately. Since this president took away DACA in September 2017, we haven't been able to travel abroad, and that has created a lot of anxiety. And really, this was a cruel policy to take away our ability to say our goodbyes to folks that are on the other side of the border. But as the Attorney General mentioned, this is a day to celebrate. This is a day for us to acknowledge all of the momentum that we have gained in this movement and to push forward to get the vote out so that we can have a real change in Congress and with this administration, and to make sure that everyone's counted on the census. We must ensure that every single one of us is counted, whether we're undocumented or not. And so acknowledge our parents and their sacrifices that have led to this victory, because without them we wouldn't have been able to accomplish this. El día de hoy celebramos esta victoria. Estamos más que contentos de la labor de tanto tiempo, de tantas personas detrás de este movimiento, en particular las personas que estamos aquí sin documentos, a nuestros padres que tampoco han tenido algo de justicia por el momento. Continuaremos este movimiento por ellos, pero este es un día de celebrar, un día de reconocer que nosotros tenemos mucho poder bajo nuestros actos, bajo nuestras palabras, y el poder unificar a personas. El día de hoy no solamente ganan los recipientes de DACA, sino que gana todo el país al mantenernos aquí seguros. Sabemos que este presidente va a continuar a intentar deportarnos, entonces la lucha no acaba aquí, la lucha continúa hasta que todos tengamos protección y un pastillo a la ciudadanía. Y le agradecemos a tanta gente que nos ha apoyado, incluyendo el Estado de California, la gente del Estado de California, la Universidad de California, y le pedimos al resto del país que tome esto como un ejemplo de que juntos podemos. Gracias. And now we're going to hear from New Latibongskor. So I'm going to turn it over to New.
Thank you so much, Dulce, and the Attorney General. My name is New Jirayut. I also go by New Latibongskor. I'm actually currently a resident physician at the San Francisco General Hospital. And as of 24 hours ago, I have finished my first year of training, my last night shift for the year. So excuse me if I appear a little bit tired. But today it's too exciting for me to go back to sleep. I just want to say that today's Supreme Court decision, to allow the DACA program to continue and to live on is really in line with what the majority of Americans want and what our immigrant communities truly deserve. DACA recipients and our families, as we have been saying, are everybody, our educators, our healthcare workers, entrepreneurs, farm workers, folks who have kept the grocery store, like food supply chain intact, even during this pandemic. DACA recipients and immigrants, undocumented immigrants and their families have continued to show up for our country, for America. And I think that it is about time that that is recognized. And I am amazed by the news that the Supreme Court has ruled favorably in favor of DACA in our lawsuit. I will just echo what has been shared, that this is truly a celebration of what our communities have fought for, just like the way that we have fought to get the DACA program in place in the first place. I think since over the past 3 years since the program has been rescinded, we have continued to fight to get to today, over and over again, at every step of the way. So many folks around the countries have stepped up to share their stories, their narratives, let folks in to their lives, and to understand why it is that DACA has been such a great program for everybody, for our country. And I think personally, I am thrilled that I am going to be able to continue to complete my residency training and be able to take care of communities in the ways that I had envisioned and had dreamed of. But this is so much bigger than just about me. It's truly a day to celebrate this decision, and it's only the first step back in the right direction. You know, I think that tomorrow we will continue to keep fighting to get back what we have lost in terms of immigrant rights, and to keep fighting for a more um, permanent solution and permanent legislation, as we always have. And in the meantime, you know, I'm waiting to see what USCIS when they will announce the reopening of the program, and to allow folks to newly apply, and to renew their DACA status. Is hugely exciting. It's the historic day. And now I would like to pass it along to Andai, who will be the next to share some words.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, everyone. I want to go ahead and thank both New, Dulce, and the Attorney General for their words. And I think that they've pretty much summed up everything, if not more than what most of us, all of us, are feeling in this moment. I personally, my name is Andai McAndrew. I'm a recent first-generation graduate from California State Polytechnic University, Pomona, a current legal fellow and aspiring attorney. And so I think that today this is a big win. This is huge. This is what all of us have been fighting for since the inception of the program, since before the inception of the program. And when I think that today speaks volumes to the anxiety and that most of us have been feeling since President Trump got into office, since the rescission of the program, and since it has been brought forth in the Supreme Court. It was weighing heavily on all of our hearts. It has been weighing heavily on not just our hearts, but our allies and folks who have been standing with us, who feel for us, whose offices we work in, or whose spaces we are a part of. And so I think today is a win, not just for us, but for folks who stand with us. And I think that that is probably the most important part, because it shows what America truly values, regardless of what President Trump says. I think this shows that the Supreme Court stands with us, that multiple states stand with us, California stands with us, and our allies stand with us, and they will continue to stand with us. We were already, many of us, I know myself included, we were preparing for the worst, but expecting the best. And today, I think that this win speaks volumes to that preparation. You know, many of us were standing anxiously by this past week. On Monday, on Thursday, I myself was up bright and early, waiting by the computer, waiting to see what would happen. And as soon as the decision was out, tears erupted from, I'm sure, not just my eyes, but from everyone who is a DACA recipient or has members in their family who are DACA recipients, because we genuinely just didn't know what to expect. And so I think today, for the first time, there's a sigh of relief within our community. There is a celebration to be had, but at the same time, we all understand that this fight isn't over. We all understand that there is more to come, and we all understand that DACA was never meant to be a permanent solution. And so, like Dulce said, I think today, more than ever, it's time for Congress to act. It's time for our legislators to act. It's time for folks to give us a permanent solution to being here. It's time to pass the Dream and Promise Act and make sure that we have a full pathway to citizenship. Many of us are students. Many of us are in medical school, are becoming attorneys, are attorneys. And so I think that that speaks volume to what the program was meant to do and what it has done. And so it's amazing to see where we are now. I'm very excited and very happy about this win, but I know that the fight isn't over, and I know that we have a long road ahead of us to continue to secure our rights as human beings and our permanent spot here in the United States. And so thank you. I'll go ahead and pass it back over to the Attorney General.
And I thank you, Nu and Dulce, thank you as well for your words. Before we turn to questions, let me just say a couple of quick remarks in Spanish as well. Esta es una victoria para todos los que trabajan bien duro, para todos los que creen en la justicia y para todos los que quieren mostrar por su labor que se han ganado algo, no que han recibido algo gratis. no busca este pueblo algo sin tener que mostrar que lo ha merecido. Y hoy la Corte Suprema también mostró algo, que estaba escuchando y estaba viendo. Así que tenemos mucho trabajo que hacer, pero por fin tenemos este logro y aquí avanzamos.